new here, I know sometimes when you're, you know, new aquarium owner, get it all set up and everything, and you finally get it established after weeks of messing with it, unless you're lucky enough to instant cycle the tank. And then you look at it and it's not crystal clear. You know, you get your algae bloom done and everything else like that, and it still just doesn't look clear, where you can, because you got too many fine particles and stuff moving around in the tank, and you don't want to spend the money on a canister filter, which are, you know, a couple $100, couple $300, depending on the size you go with, and your little hob or hang on the back filter is only doing so good. Maybe you've got a sponge filter in there, which I prefer, of course, sponge filters that aquarium co-op sells. I really like those. I've come up with a way. When I say I've come up with a way, I've seen the way. I've seen a few people post on it, and there's different reviews on what people really think about them. But take a Powerhead and a fine sponge filter, which they import from China. This fine sponge filter. I've got some 4.5 inch sponge filters, and anyway, take a Powerhead, put on top of it, and filter it. And I've seen some people show how to do it, and I found that it works really well. Now, I use a sponge filter, you know, with a bubbler or air bubbler on it, because that does a better job with, you know, holding your bacteria calm and stuff. Because I've found that running the, you know, I think this is a 320 gallon an hour Powerhead, it goes through there fairly fast, and I think the bacteria don't really have time to, you know, get established in that filter. I mean, it's going to attach it there, but the water probably doesn't pick it up well. So I still run a bubbler on it, and some of these still have hang on the back filters too. I've got 10 aquariums now going, and I'm still working on 3, getting them fully cycled. This is 65 gallon behind me. It's the well, it'll be an African cichlid tank, you know, Mbunas. There are about 3 fish in there that doesn't belong in there, but they, let's see, there's a red devil in there, about a 5-inch one or so. She's just over there because I'm having trouble with the Oscar tank. That's the 55 gallon. It's almost cycled. I think it'll be done tomorrow or the next day, and I'll be able to put her back over in there. And then there's a littler Jack Dempsey in there that's going to go in another tank. He's just growing out in there, and actually he holds his own in there pretty good. And then there is a 3-inch convict in there too, who tries to be a tank boss, even over those blue dolphins and stuff that you see in the background there running around. And those are about 4.5 inches long, and they tangle a little bit, but nothing major. But anyway, getting back to the Powerhead and sponge filter, I'm going to install one on the tank beside this one, 36 gallon. I'll show you it here in a second. It's just got mollies in it, and walk you through how you attach it up, and then we'll show a before picture when I start it, which has got a lot of particles floating around in it. You'll see it here in a second, and see the difference after running it a couple hours. But we're going to be using 4.5 inch filters. They're Unicell. They're the XJ380s. I think they're rated up to a 60 gallon tank. But we're going to put the little thing on here, the little neck, and we'll put the filter on here. And the filters, I say the filters, the power heads. So, let's see if it'll focus in. I'll put that J. It's a 320 gallon per hour power head. Comes in a neat little box. Now these things, I got them on $14.95 on Amazon. And I've already kind of experimented on one, and it seems like it's going to work really well. And that's the one I'm going to put into that tank. I had an incident with it when I was messing with it at work. Dropped it, and the little cover, this little cover, broke off. So I have a nice big tie wrap around that thing. It's not going to move now. I was going to glue it, but I'm not so sure about what you can use and what you can't use in an aquarium. You know, maybe JB Weld or something like that, but I was worried about putting something in the tank that I didn't need. But this is the one I'm going to attach up to it. And this is a new one that I'll go through how to set it up here in a second. Anyway, let's get to it. Okay. You can see how milky, you know, I just did a 50% water change on this one. So it's really, it's stirred up at the moment, a little more than it normally is, but it's always got these fine particles floating around. You can't really see in there clear. I've got a hang on the back, and I actually have 2 coarse sponge filters by Aquarium Co-op in there. These are all babies that we actually grew here. they were I would say hatched, but they were live birth here. And I love those little things. They look pretty neat. My wife she's really gotten into it since she found the babies. And anyway, so I am going to take this, now that we've got it set up on here, put this power head in here, let it run for about an hour, and show you what it looks like after the fact. Let me pull this top off. Now, generally I would pull one of these other filters out as I was doing this, but for time's sake, I'm just going to put this one in here beside it for right now. Bad thing about these particular filters here, why I'm so glad Aquarium Co-op came up with the heavier ones, is they're not very well weighted. They want to float up to the top. Even when they get full, you squeeze them, get some of the air out of them, that helps. Anyway, slap that on top of there. So put the power head right on top. Let got the stoppers there on the side to kind of help hold it in place. And we will plug her in here. Maybe not get electrocuted. And just watch it work for a minute. It just pull that water through there. So this might end up being a little much for these guppies. I may have to cut that thing down or put a little bit smaller filter in there. So this really going to stir the water up. Put that back over here. Top that on. clean up my wet mess there. Okay, let's watch this thing filter out for a minute. And we are going to wait 1 hour. And I'm going to show you the difference in the tank in only 1 hour. Okay, when you get one of these Aquanet power heads off of AquaNeat, I guess, AquaNeat power heads, they come with several little attachments here. First thing is to take and get your parts out. It's kind of a weird little workstation I've got going on here on the stool, but this is the stool the kids sit on when the grandkids, I should say, when they come over and watch fish. They'll sometimes fall asleep on this darn thing. It's just off oversized ottoman. Put your little stoppers on like so. Kind of slide and clip into place. Very easy. And then you get this little head here. Now, on these 380 sponge filters, you take a look, they fit tight. They fit like that. But if you do it like that, then you've got all this suction here, you know, that's going to not be going through the filter. So, what I do is take, if I can hold on to it, take and cut. You can use a razor blade, as long as you got some like puncture-proof gloves on or something, because you will cut yourself with it, and just cut that right around this second one right here. Cut it all the way around and remove that. When you remove it, it's going to look like that. Just take that piece off, and then take this and go on the back side and slide it through there and slide it down to where it's just at the top of this, and then it's like a perfect little fit there. It won't move. I might be able to do this with scissors. I've never tried. Let's see. I don't think I can get exact enough with it. Might work. May work. May have to go back and clean the edge up though. I wouldn't say this is the best tool for the job. It kind of less. Anyway, and then take your tube off of your XJ380 and get it popped through. See, that's where I said I don't think I got my edge cleaned off enough, but I think if I kind of push them out, and you can pull that down. You can do it like that. Push it down on your power head, or down on your sponge filter. Put that in place, and then pull that down like that. Which is wrong. I just did it bass-ackwards. Just did it bass-ackwards. Don't do that. Take that back off. Click that back in place. You want it like this. Now put it on there. And slide that up to about there. And then when you put your power head on the side of the aquarium, you see how I did it when I did it on there. Slide that on there and then push that up there, and then you got a nice tight fit. And it sucks the water that it's been running about 30 minutes right now, and it's about 90% clean already. Anyway, that's how you do it. Not very difficult. Go ahead and put your directional attachment here. And I guess if you wanted to, you could hook up your little air attachment here for a bubbler. I've never tried that before. I've never tried to use it. I've seen people do it. With a shallow enough aquarium, you might just have to get a longer tube, but you could do that. And then you could actually make a little more gyration on the top of the water, and maybe you could get by without using another sponge filter like I do. But I really like the coarse sponge filters better than these when you're using an air tube. But this just seems to get all the fine stuff out, where you end up with a nice clean aquarium like that 65 is right now. It's not clean, but the water column is clean. Anyway, that's how you do that. While that's cleaning, I'll show you a few of my cichlids in here. That convict that I need to get out. There's a red devil. He's about 5 inches. Come on around so you can see him a little bit better. And there's the Jack Dempsey, who's not supposed to be in there either. So the first 3 fish I show you are ones that are not supposed to be in this tank. There's one that's the male or female blue dolphin, and the male is below him there. Sometime one day I will put them in their own tank and see if we can get some fry out of them. I've never done that before. It would be very interesting to try. Back up here a little bit. Put a little food in there and get a better look at it there. I'll just put a few of their small pellets in here. See if everybody comes out. You can touch some of them, literally. Put your fingers in there. Just love these guys. Never had them before. We've had some live bears. I've always had an Oscar, which is a very personable fish. But with some bloodworms I put in there. They love those. You can see. Just going at it toward the top. Back like the tank a little bit here. Better. You can see me. He's looking really black today. A lot of times he's really blue. That is his rock down there. He patrols it. He's a big fish away. Okay, let's check back in with the other tank. Okay, I said I would check back in after exactly an hour. There is still a little bit of debris floating in there, so it hadn't totally cleared out, but that's the difference in an hour's time. I am fixing to, oh, and I did feed them. I forgot that it was time to feed them, so there's a little bit of food particle floating around also. But I'm going to let it run overnight. and then I will show you the results in the morning. Okay, here we are overnight. It did not clear up as much as I would have anticipated. Figured out it was just putting out too much water pressure. It's stirring up the tank. I'm sure over time it'll clear up anyway. But it was keeping the tank really stirred up because it was just, as 320 is just too much for a 36 gallon tank. I have a 150 I'm going to, or a 120 gallon per hour I'm going to put on there, and that should work perfect. But as you see, it's a heck of a lot, whole lot clearer than it was last night. Morning, guys. How are you guys this morning? This is my wife's office. She talks to these fish during the day. I'm worried about her. There's my little flame dwarf gourami minion. Little tetra buddies. Colors really came in well. Well, anyway, so I would say a partial success on that tank. I'm only going to say a partial because it didn't come out the way I wanted it to. So maybe we'll just consider it a fail. And then I'll put the smaller head on that filter, and she should be just as clear as this tank. Well, guys, I will be posting more on these guys in the future. We'll have some more babies here pretty soon, and we'll have some more garden videos coming up because it's getting almost first day of spring. Got about 5 more days. Well, watch, like, subscribe to my channel, and we will bring you more content. Hopefully some with some better results than I had last night.